Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, tonight I'll be speaking about becoming a parent. When I was growing up, I often heard the phrase from my parents that we had it so good and that we were spoiled and we really didn't, life was so much better than when my parents were growing up. And I got kind of annoyed by that every time that I heard it, because I never experienced my life as actually being easy when I was growing up. But, for some reason my parents thought that their childhood was a lot harder. And I became a parent at 35 years old. I actually had a child this year. And becoming a parent is distinct from having a child. Becoming a parent involves responsibility, and it involves actually having somebody that's gonna become a teacher in your life. And we like to choose our teachers because if we pick a teacher and we don't like that teacher, we want to just kick them away. But when you have a child, you don't have that option. You're gonna have that teacher in your life that's gonna be teaching you lessons, whether you like him or not. And that's a big commitment. So I'm just defining what becoming a parent is in the way that I see it. So 35 years of life actually, I think, was the right time for me to have a child, for me to become a parent, because it gave me some life experience during that time, and I was able to make some observations. And so for me, it was the perfect moment. And I think that the way that a person is built when they become an adult is an evolutionary process. And it's basically done in two ways, being a little simplistic. But there are the lessons that you learn from your parents, and then there are the lessons that you learn from the world as, opposed to your parents. And that will define who you are when you become an adult. And, those two set of lessons will determine who you are as an adult. So you have a lot of influence on who a person is gonna be by becoming a parent, by being a parent. And what that means is that being a parent is actually a great way, one of the many ways, to leave a legacy. Because one of the things that we have in life that we know for certain, if not the only thing, is that one day we will not be here. And so keeping that in mind, we can think about what we're gonna be doing that's gonna make a difference in the world, that we're gonna leave behind, what some of us call a legacy. And a child is one way, being a parent is one way to do that, because you have this great opportunity to transfer, for lack of a better word, who you are to another person, to transfer your moral values or maybe your beliefs or I'm not speaking of physical things, but something that's intangible, something that's almost like your spirit, so that remains once you're no longer here. And that's, I think, a very fulfilling thing. I think that becoming a parent takes a lot of courage, as opposed from having a child. Having a child is easier, right? We know it doesn't take much. And I think a lot of people get stopped by the thought that, I am too old, or I can't really physically have a child. I miss my window of opportunity, or maybe you're just never made to actually physically have a child. But I actually never thought of physically having a child. it just sort of happened for me that way, and I'm happy with the way things have turned out for me, you know, that I've been blessed this way. But I actually have always thought of adopting a child, and I'm surprised that how so few people actually consider that option, because that is still an option for me, and I do believe that eventually, later in life, I'll be adopting a child, because I think that that's a great way to choose a teacher in your life and to actually give who you are to somebody. It doesn't need to be blood related, and I think it's just a great thing. It's a great opportunity. So when is the right time to become a parent? I guess if you consider becoming a parent, or you think, you know, am I ready to be a parent? Should I become a parent? I think that the right time to be a parent is when you reach a certain moment in life, when you have an urge to pass to someone else who you are, who you have defined yourself to be, and you just feel compelled to do that. So you will know the time is right. And whether you're going to adopt or have your own child with somebody else that's going to get pregnant, in this case, I'm male, right, is irrelevant, in my opinion. Because what we're talking about in terms of being a parent involves responsibility, it involves sacrifice, it involves selflessness. So it's not at the level of, you know, is this person gonna have the same genes as me, or whatever, because it's much beyond that. And so I am a father now, and if you are considering becoming a parent, I just want to say that it's been very rewarding for me. It has been fantastic experience, a great adventure, a great pleasure, and it's not without work. You know, there are many nights of no sleep or little sleep, and I had to really redefine my life, because it's not about me anymore. And so I've become secondary, coming from a life where I was the most important thing that I knew, you know, that I had in my life. But you know, it is very rewarding, and I have the great honor of raising somebody and mentoring somebody until they become an adult, and I can give them whatever I want. And what I want to give my daughter and the other children I may have is everything that I have. So I think that that's when you know that it's the right time, is when you know that you are willing and interested in giving everything that you have as a person, without any hesitation, without any doubt. And I highly recommend it, and thank you very much.